Increasing communication to improve student learning. Some background information on our school. We are a vocational high school servicing roughly 1,150 11th and 12th grade students from 6 different school districts. These districts are everything from suburban to rural, with a wide variety of students attending from each. We have 28 career technical programs, everything from engineering, technology, and medical to auto collision and public safety. We have college prep academics, which include calculus, chemistry, and English, as well as several dual credit classes. All classes are considered to be general education classes, meaning that there are no inclusion classes or resource rooms. We do have some supports available to all of our students. We have support from our study hall monitors during students assigned study halls. We have our technical and academic center, which is our tutoring center, which is available to all students in the building every day from 7:45 to 2:45. Students are welcome to go in there before and after school, during their lunch, and during their study halls. Part of this is also our study tables that are offered through our tutoring center, and these are available depending on the day from 7:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon. We also have our opportunity classroom, which is for our students who are at risk, and they are put in there upon administrative decision. Students who are identified as having special needs and who are either on an individual education plan, IEP, or 504, have a vocational special education coordinator who provides additional support as well. Now, here's the problem. The big problem is that there's a lack of communication between the instructional staff and the support staff. The support staff include those vocational special education coordinators, VOCEs, our tutoring staff, which work in the TAC, our technical and academic center, study hall monitors, and our opportunity classroom teacher. This means that the support staff has no easy, reliable way to know what is happening in the individual classes. This means the support staff does not know how they can best provide assistance to the students that they are working with. This impacts students' learning, especially the students who are on IEPs, 504s, or who have been identified as needing additional support by the Student Assistance Team, which is our RTI team, our Response to Intervention. And these are students who are at risk for failure. While some instructors will provide the support staff with information about upcoming assignments, projects, and tests, the majority do not. This means that support staff has no way to know about any of these without talking to the individual instructors. This is virtually impossible considering there are over 50 instructors in the building. Our time would be spent searching for instructors and asking questions instead of actually helping the students who need us. Now, we all know the students who sit in study hall and say they have nothing to do, when in fact they have several assignments due the very next day. Now, if there was a perfect world in communication between instructional and support staff, the support staff would know, hey, I know you have these assignments, let's make sure you have them down. Can I see them? Can I help with them? But because we don't have this communication, we have a missed opportunity to provide support and way too many zeros in teachers' grade books. Also, when a student reports to the tutoring center or opportunity classroom, there's no way to know what they should be working on or preparing for. Once again, we often hear they have nothing to do or have an incomplete idea of what needs to be done. Also, when a member of the special education staff is meeting with a student or talking with a parent, we cannot plan ahead to ensure work is done or tests are adequately prepared for. Instead, time is spent putting out fires once a student fails a test or does not complete an assignment or project. What it all comes down to is we are there and it is all about the students. Ultimately, what matters most is that the students are not able to get the help they need, and too many are falling through the proverbial cracks. We need to increase communication in order to improve student outcomes. Why is communication a problem? While all instructors are required to complete detailed weekly lesson plans, the only people who actually see these lesson plans are the members of the administrative staff. To put it simply, the lesson plans are turned in, filed, and forgotten about. There is currently no formal means of communicating the expectations laid out in the lesson plans between the various stakeholders. The solution is a centralized lesson plan repository that can be accessed by not only the administrative staff but also the support staff. This will allow support staff to quickly and easily see what is happening in all the various classes, which means they will know what students should be working on and when. This will allow them to provide students with the support necessary for success. Now, creating a centralized lesson plan repository hits several technology standards, including learning and teaching, where we're ensuring that appropriate technologies are being used to enhance and support instruction, and we're providing a learner-centered environment that uses technology to meet the needs of individual and diverse learners. We're also hitting the standard of productivity and professional practice. We are using technology to communicate and collaborate among colleagues, and also to advance organizational improvement. Finally, we are support management and operations. We are implementing and using technology-based management and operations systems. The plan. In the development of the plan to solve this problem, two questions need to be answered. How do we make lesson plans available to a large number of support staff personnel who are spread out throughout the building? How do we ensure that this is easy to put in place while costing no money? The answer is Google. How Google will save the day. Google is free, so it will cost the district no money to put in place. Our building already utilizes Google Docs, so the staff is familiar with how it works, which will ease the transition into this new system. The school's Google site and Google Docs is available to all staff members while also being secure. This means that everyone who needs to have access to the lesson plans will be able to do so, but those who we don't want to see the lesson plans will not be able to do so. Something we need to keep in mind when setting up this system. For various reasons, this year has been especially stressful on our staff. This means we need to keep this new system simple and easy to use. We need to ease staff into the new routine and reward them for participating, because we know if there's a prize involved, they're going to be much more willing to participate without grumbling. We also need to provide additional support for those who want to participate but who are unsure about the specifics and how to do so. Now, Google's going to save the day in the fact that we can either create a lesson plan template with Google Docs or give teachers the opportunity to use their own electronic format of lesson plans. This is because some teachers already create their lesson plans electronically and then email them to the supervisors. And by allowing teachers the freedom to choose which format they want to use, it will hopefully ease some of the tension that change often brings. A lesson plan repository will be created in the school's Google Drive. This is where lesson plans will be saved or uploaded to, allowing administrative and support staff members the ability to view the plans. Now, what's it actually going to look like? So when teachers and support staff log into the school's Google Drive, they will see a folder labeled Lesson Plan. Now, this folder is indicated here with the purple arrow. Once the staff members click on the lesson plan folder, they will then see a folder for each academic content area and career technical field. We see these all listed here. Upon clicking on an individual subject or career field folder, there will then be a folder for each individual instructor for that area. Here I have clicked on the English folder and I have teacher A, B, C, and D for demonstrative purposes. Upon opening a folder for an individual teacher, one will find a folder for each month of the school year. Unfortunately, Google automatically alphabetizes these instead of letting us put them in order of the months. Upon clicking on a particular month's folder, one will find the weekly lesson plans. So if I go into English Teacher B and click on January 2015 folder, I will find all of those lesson plans that the teacher has uploaded for January of 2015. The ultimate goal for this project would be for the teachers to also upload any handouts given in class, copies of assignments, if applicable, and videos of class presentations. This will be phased in voluntarily during the 2015-16 school year. Then, depending on how the trial period goes, it will be school-wide during the 2016-17 school year. Now, the reason we want to have assignments and copies of videos is because support staff spends a lot of time trying to learn the material themselves. So if they can watch the teacher's presentations, then they have a better idea of how to help the students. And also, we all know that students often lose their handouts or assignments. So being able to simply click and print new copies for them saves a lot of time and having to go back to the teacher for new copies. Something that must be stressed is that some of our teachers become very nervous about the sharing of their lesson plans, let alone their classroom materials or videos of themselves teaching or giving demonstrations. They think that once the lesson plans are public, they're set in stone. They're afraid parents will gain access to the lesson plans and videos and will then question their teaching methods and or hold them accountable for exactly what is written in the lesson plans. They are fearful that the videos will be used for evaluative purposes. So it must be stressed that these materials are simply serving as a guide for the support staff, and that the teachers are not being held accountable for following the lesson plans exactly. It is understood that changes must be made to meet the instructional needs of the students in those classes. So if they spend 2 days covering something they wrote in their lesson plans they only were supposed to do for 1 day, it needs to be understood that they're doing it for their students' best interest. And they also need to understand that the videos will not be used for evaluative purposes. Our timeline: October and November, the technology staff will build the lesson plan repository in Google Drive. December, staff will be introduced to the new system during the monthly staff meeting. December and January, support sessions will be offered by the technology staff and the members of the administrative team. January, participation in the new system will be voluntary to start, with rewards for those who successfully participate. In May, a survey for the staff using the new system to see what improvements can be made. August 2015, we will introduce the staff to the new system, and the technology staff will provide training for those in need. The new system becomes mandatory for all staff members to use at this time. In October, there will be a survey of instructional support staff to see if the new system is having a positive impact and if any improvements need to be made. December through May of 2016, continue collecting data on the effectiveness of the system and if improvements need to be made. January 2016, introduce staff to the ability to upload classroom materials, copies of assignments, and videos to Google Drive. Participation will be voluntary, and users will be surveyed to gauge ease and effectiveness prior to requiring all staff to participate during the 2016-17 school year. So how do we know this is working? First, we're going to look at how many teachers voluntarily start uploading their lesson plans to Google Drive during the remainder of the 2014-15 school year. The more teachers who voluntarily start the process, the more likely others will slowly start doing the same before the end of the school year. And those who do not start until the beginning of the 2015-16 school year will hopefully not have as many complaints if a significant number of other teachers are on the bandwagon and share how easy the process is. We're going to use SurveyMonkey to survey the support staff to see if they're accessing the lesson plans, and if so, are they actually helpful? We're also going to check with vocational special education coordinators, the opportunity classroom teacher, and student assistance team, because these professionals all track grades on a regular basis, and thus they can see if more assignments are turned in and higher scores are being earned. Instructors can be surveyed using SurveyMonkey to ensure the process is working as well. This includes the ease of uploading lesson plans and if they are seeing a positive result. This also is helpful that teachers already receive emails from support staff outlining what assignments they have helped a student complete. So if teacher A receives an email saying, I helped student do assignment B, and assignment B is never turned in, we know that the disconnect is the student actually turning in the assignment, not that the student didn't understand the assignment and get it done in the first place. Hopefully this new system will increase communication, which will allow students to get much needed support and be successful in their classes as they move towards graduation.